Without further ado, we're going to get into some of the questions that we have slated for the panel. And we're going to start it off. We're going to baptize the newlyweds in fire. We're going to baptize y'all. Love you.
There you go.
Love you. That's how we get down here in that Christian fam. All right. The question is, how long should you wait to get married after meeting someone?
Okay, hey, you want to go first?
That's a good question. Go ahead.
Okay, someone told me that you need to see a person in all seasons.
You are my notes.
I don't know who it was. I think it was either my sister. I don't remember, but I do believe that is very true. Okay, yeah, that's me gonna have to say.
No, I totally agree. When she told me that was the first time I heard it. I was like, oh, okay. So I totally agree. For the guy perspective, I mean, it's guys is just making that decision of faith, really. So you decide. It took us. I engaged her. It was 1 year and 6 months, and I know Christians. They kind of, they engage rather quickly than what the world does. So that's a tough question, but I agree. You should see someone in all seasons and see how they respond to certain seasons and certain things that happen in life. So I think I agree with what she said.
Man. I'm wondering if you actually saw one of our videos, because we said that in our videos. We're like, you know what? You need see somebody in all seasons.
It might be, because I've been following y'all for a while, so it possibly could have been.
Yeah. Jason and Jima, what about y'all?
Oh, there's no doubt. At least a year, but not indefinite courtship either, though. So it needs to have like an expiration date on your dating, your courtship intentionality. So you're not just saying, oh, we're courting and we've been courting for 5 years. So I think we were dating. We were a year.
We not really.
Oh, how long? Because time is not my friend. I'm not the best with time dates.
So we met in November. He proposed to me. Well, he asked for my hand in marriage in April from my parents.
Right.
And
6
then
months.
he proposed to me in May. And so we did not. Now we got married. It wasn't until the following February. But a lot of things happened in between. You had 9/11 occurred, and so that really accelerated our timeline, because we recognized that we really wanted to be together, and all of what you were saving for that big old glamorous wedding, the big old everything, did not matter as much as being with one another. And so that, 9/11 is one of those events that really, I think we all can say, had some type of impact on our lives.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And you know what? For the longest, and we still stand on, you need to see somebody in all phases of life, like all seasons, right? And honestly, I just saw this comment, Christians trying not to burn. Y'all listen. It was hard. It was rough, all right? A lot of sleepless nights. a lot of yearning, a lot of burning, with nothing, no satisfaction. You just had to tough it out, straight thug it out. That's what I had to do. All right. But listen, I'm gonna tell you what we really believe in this, and Nikki can, we've talked about this. We've gotten kind of nuanced in that, because I do believe that, in a perfect situation, you definitely need to see a person, at least a year. But say for instance, if you meet each other later in life, like, he's 52, she's 50, you already got some stuff established, like you're already proven that, you know how to keep a job, or you know how to be loyal or something like that, or you've already proven, this is who I am in this life. I'm not about to go into some crazy phase in life. This is who we are. Sometimes, 6 months may be good enough for them, because they've already established who they are as adults. They've established responsibility, hopefully by that age. All right. And so I believe it depends on what season in life, or what stage in life you're in. It all depends. But definitely when you're young, like when we got married in our early 20s or whatever, you definitely need to see a person in all 4 seasons, because you don't want to live with regrets just because you made an error. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so
And
yeah.
that's what, I want to add is I don't think there's a solid timeline per se. I would say as long as you're seeking God in your decision making and allowing him to direct your path, then that time is right. I do think it's important to get past that infatuation stage, where, and when we're speaking of seasons, I'm thinking of like Gary Chapman wrote a book called The 4 Seasons of Marriage. And so, there's different seasons even in relationships. You have the summertime where everything is like nice and wonderful. You're so excited to see each other all the time. And then you have, your falls where it's like, okay, well, I'm starting to notice a couple things here and there, but I can still kind of overlook it somewhat because I'm just still, coming out that summertime. And then you can have the winter
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, what happened? Like,
Right.
oh my goodness, is this the same person? And then you have your spring where it's like, okay, the newness comes back and that romance. So I think it's important that you get past that infatuation, because when you're, in that newness of the relationship, everything is wonderful, right? It's like that other person, you're so excited that it's almost like that person can do no wrong. Like there may be flags there, but maybe you don't see it because you're just so excited about the newness of the relationship. I use the example of when we first bought our house, and it was a newer house, but there were it was like marks on the wall that I noticed one day. And the previous owners, they had it all painted and everything, done up, ready to move in and everything. But I said to Jermaine one day when I was looking a couple months later, I said, honey, what's that little dent in the wall? We and our children were really small at that point. So I'm like, did one of them throw something into the wall or what happened? He was like, no, that was there. It's been there. But because I was just so excited to be a new homeowner and I was just so excited about this blessing, I didn't even notice that was there. And a lot of times it's like that with relationships. So that's why it's important to at least give it some time. But like I said, going back to as long as you're seeking God and your decision making, that's what matters the most.
Yeah. Amen.
Actually, just kind of going off like Dominique, because I wasn't dating for like 6 or 7 years, but I always say that me being in a relationship with him was one of like the most sobering relationships that I've ever had, just because he wasn't just tickling my ears and telling me every little thing that I wanted to hear. And like, just rubbing it all on me and things like that. So it was just like, it really frustrated me in the beginning because I'm so used to being on this. Of course, I was like, oh, I like him and things like that. But it just wasn't this like, oh my God, he's the best thing and different things like that. It was just very sober. I'm like, when he asked me to be his girlfriend, I was like, oh my God. I got in the car and started crying just because I knew this was real.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that is beautiful. It almost plays into the conversation we had when we were talking about the 90s music, how they would like make idols of these women. And it's like, you really don't want a man that makes an idol of you and puts you before God. Because if he puts you before God, then what happens is those attributes or those qualities, those godly qualities that he's supposed to have, they may not be there, or they may go away. They may go as you go because he's made you his idol. So, I think that's dope that you actually mentioned that.
I feel your mind and you're thinking, if you wanna come around me, like is this real? Wasting time, 'cause I can't give